Good afternoon, everybody. Rosie with the Missy Jen, and we hope that your Friday is going well. It's not often I break what they call in entertainment, sort of break the third, the fourth wall or whatever the hell they call it. You kind of step out of character and just adjust and just address things on YouTube. And we had a major drama flare up this morning with Dave. I'll backpedal and get to that. We'll let the chat populate a little bit in here. And it shows you sometimes the very difficult positions that, we often find ourselves in on YouTube. Hey, Pirate Calypso, nice to see you, honey. Yep, you're the first. Hey, Gina Marie. How are you? Nice to see you. Say hi to Missy Jen. Be Missy. Wearing her camos today. Nice to see you, Jen. Thanks for sitting in today. I took Jen's away from her lunch here. Hey, Tide, how are you? Nice to see you. Yeah,
Hi,
and that
Tide.
AKA the lunch lady. I love that. Hey, Sweet Meadow, nice to see you.
Hi, Gina. Hi, Pirate.
Yeah. Pirate should be doing this. Hey, Mrs. Zombie,
Miss
nice
Zombie.
to see you. We'll start off by saying one of the top five movies. If you know anything about me, I'm really out there. I'm very physical with my being, stuff like that, and I enjoy that. Hi,
Hey,
Roxanne.
Roxana.
But another thing I am is a tremendous movie follower, particularly classic movies. I would say from the era of the 1920 to about 1950, right in that sweet spot, peaking in 1939. Considering the greatest year in Hollywood history, 1939, with the movies that came out, Gone with the Wind, The Wizard of Oz, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. I mean, tremendous. Some of the classics that endure today. Well, Alfred Hitchcock at that time was really getting his start as a director. And hey, Beth, one of the greatest movies that I ever saw in my life was filmed. Hey, Janie, nice to see you. One of the greatest movies I ever saw in my life.
Annette. Hi, Annette.
Was a movie called Shadow of a Doubt. And it is probably the greatest Hitchcock movie you've never heard of. And it stars the great Joseph Cotten and Teresa Wright. And I've put the link down in this description box because I think it's a tremendously great thing to spend your time on. It's a worthwhile movie. And the whole premise of the movie is this girl in Santa Rosa growing up with her family and living here in Santa Rosa, California. Adores her uncle, who she's not seen in a lot of years, right? And he's coming to visit out west. Well, as the movie unfolds, I'm not going to give a total spoiler alert on it. But she starts to find out some things that are a little sketchy and starts to do some of her own independent research until she finally discovers a horrifying reality of what her uncle really is and why he is on the run. And eventually, in the climactic scene of the movie, ends up struggling for her life. Way before Throw Mama from the Train. It's a tremendous movie. But it drives home to me the point that we all live in a shadow of a doubt here on YouTube. Why? Because YouTube is not a court of law, it's a court of drama. It really is a court of drama. And as such, we don't have the rules of court proceeding and legal proceeding and the introduction of evidence that we see in civil and criminal courts. We all live in a shadow of a doubt. We've seen this played out over the last month in particular, as people have squared up on sides of the little Rosie issue and all that. Not something that I get involved in. I'll be discussing reasons for that. But these things can really be like something that cleaves a community in two. Mama Bear, an issue that cleaves the community in two. And it's very difficult. Hi, Jaded. Hi,
Hi,
everybody. I'm not
Jaded.
ignoring its side chat. This is not going to be a long hangout. And but I just wanted to go on the record here and just say we all live in this shadow of a doubt. And no matter how much evidence we may think that we have on YouTube, we're really not ever in the total control or, purview of all the details of everything and all the backstories that go on. So we come to somebody like last night, I was on, there was a lot of chats on it. And I really enjoy, as many of you know, Pam, I go to Shoot the Shit. I love her chat. I go to Late Night with Nippy and Janie. I enjoy the chat. I go to Pirate Calypso. I enjoy the chat. I keep my head low. I'm ready to bob and weave, right? But I enjoy the chat. Was on ATX, Mandy ATX's chat, Diane's chat. In other words, I'm a chat whore. I enjoy chats. Dave's chat, Cooper's chat. I go all kinds of places. Missy Jen's like, yeah, you go all kinds. You're a chat hoe, right? I mean, I really enjoy that. I'm a social being. But it's hard not to be involved in the drama when you do so, because people do want to put you on one side or the other. But the beauty of just entering this community, Jen, is we really don't know shit. We don't know a lot of the backstory. We don't talk about the backstory. We just know one simple thing, one simple governing principle is we absolutely don't dig into other people's lives. Not because we stand on some type of higher moral ground. It's because no matter what, we'll always live in that shadow of a doubt world. And as such, Missy Jen and I just choose to just try to be observers. So last night, my friend Coop had a chat, and we've had the whole thing with Patch come down with the stolen Valor and Boris weighing in on that. And I really have to say, I have mad respect for Boris. Boris served in the United States Navy. I enjoy listening to Lindy speak. I don't always agree with every position that Boris takes, but Boris served on a United States aircraft carrier honorably in the United States Navy. We love him dearly. Bobby served in the United States Army, right? The boss, United States Navy on the USS Roanoke. In other words, we're surrounded by military people. I did not serve. My grandmother in World War I lost all three of her brothers. At that time, they were allowed to serve together. You could put families together in units, and all three were wiped out by gassing at Chateau Thierry battle in 1917, I believe it was, in France. We know tragedy. We know the horror. Brother military, daughter military. We're connected. We have mad respect for veterans and the military. And when things started to come out, I'm no researcher, when doubts started coming out about Patch and stuff, we all had to define our relationship with Patch, the man who refused to die. And he was somebody who was very kind to me in the beginning, and still to this day has been kind to me, and kind to Missy Jen. But as things started to evolve about potentially backgrounds and honor and duty, and did he serve and did he not serve, we took a gigantic step back because we saw ourselves in that shadow of a doubt field. And then all of a sudden it got dragged into the court of YouTube drama. Now at that time, you have to really weigh out, where you want to stand in these type of situations. So I kind of made the decision that last night was one of those epic battles. I saw Coop had a chat on with Ellie, with Greg, Nicole, all of my wonderful friends that I've had for years on YouTube. And I had to make the decision whether to, at the tail end, honestly, I hemmed and hawed and did not want to panel up on that, just because I feel like I don't want to give honor to that just in case, but I don't want to be disrespectful too, because I live in the shadow of a doubt world. And it can be an untenable position, Missy Jen, where you don't know the facts and you just weigh out what people said. And then you have to define yourself in relation to what you're going to do with that information. And I made the decision then that, maybe it's cowardly. I made the decision, I'm just going to stall. I did have something, I had to take an examination for credentialing today, but I stalled, because I didn't feel comfortable being on. But then you have to weigh out, you have to weigh out. These are your wonderful friends. This is people that you've loved and spent time with. And then we have Dave on the other side, who I've enjoyed spending time with. And Dave shared stuff with me about his health that he hasn't shared with other people. So I have a lot of feeling for Dave. I know how horrifying cancer is. My mother was like a small copy of original of me, and she, I held her hand when she drew her last breath in 2000, dying of ovarian cancer. I know the horror of cancer. I know the horrors of health problems when I see Missy Jen's struggles every day. So I know where Dave comes from. I have a lot of sympathy for Dave and his daily struggles. And I think there's nothing wrong, I don't think, with Dave wanting to be on YouTube and to entertain and have friends. But I'm just saying sometimes it does put us in a tough position, because we do have our friends. And Ellie's been a dear friend of mine for what, 5.5 years, almost from the first days on the channel, right? Greg, my moderator for years. These are decent people. Coop, who I've known. Would I have paneled Patch up? No, never. I would not have Patch on the panel. But I don't make the final determination, because I'm not a court of law. And we all live in that shadow of a doubt. And there is that possibility that Patch has just thought to himself, as some others have on here, that I don't owe anybody anything. The world of the shadow of the doubt. In that case, again, we define ourselves in how we want to relate with that person. So, last night, after a good period of time sitting there, you're thinking, these are my friends. These are my good friends, and I'm going to just go on, and we had a great time for the balance of the night. Yeah, I was not initially happy about that, but you got to weigh out your friendships and the people that you've loved over the years that have had your back and stuff. And then you have to weigh out the passion that Dave, and I know drama, and Dave brings the passion to it. And sometimes it's kind of over the top. But that's kind of like Dave being Dave. So, I may be banned out forever today. I don't know. But I would just say that, one thing that's always served, I remember when I talked to Bobby about Patch. And Bobby's probably, Bobby tall and rail thin, but one of the most sweetest and honorable people I've ever met in my life. And I said, what about this Patch situation about? And he said, what about it? And I said, there's a lot of evidence, not evidence, but there's a lot of, there's been a lot of in what we call inductive reasoning going on about whether Patch served in was a Navy SEAL and all that. And I said, what do you think about that? And he asked me one simple question. He said, do you know 100% for sure that Patch did not serve in the military? And I had to say, no, I don't know 100% for sure. So he said, keep your mouth shut then. Keep your mouth shut, because you're not qualified to pass on that. Now, again, we have to define ourselves in where we stand within YouTube. So I just decided to keep my mouth shut, to be pleasant if I ran across Patch in other chats and stuff, because shadow about that, I just don't, at the end of the day. No. And I'm sorry, I'm just going on for the side chat here. but I do know, I do kind of know all sides. So I'm just asking everybody maybe just to take a step back and just take a deep breath and just, kind of just breathe in, center yourselves, and let's just pull back from the brink of another enormous storm here that could be brewing. Because at the end of the day, I may not agree with not with 100% of the stuff that Coop does. Yeah, sometimes he likes to chase down and have the fun, but he's an original person that stays true to his friends, and I love him for that. Ellie's another one, and every turn of the way, I've consistently disappointed her over the years with my outlandish behavior and stuff, and she's always stood squarely behind me. Greg, the longest suffering. Yeah, and I agree. I see Dave saying he had heart attacks and cancer. Dave, anybody that would false front cancer is a person to be detested. But again, I live in that shadow of a doubt world. Now, other people choose to make the decision and say, I've seen enough, and this is the way I'm coming in, and I appreciate that. I really do. Maybe it's just my background in philosophy in college and just logic and stuff, and just basic studies of law studies and pre-law, that I just know how bad sometimes conjecture can turn out.
I always believe when somebody makes such outlandish claims, they need to be careful what they wish for.
Yeah.
Because one day they might wake up and really have cancer.
Yeah. So I understand what Dave. Oh, I see you, Matronista. You're there, honey. I got your message on the phone. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why your comments aren't showing on a lot of videos and stuff, but I know what Dave's gone through with his therapies and stuff, and I've seen the actual things that he hasn't shared generally on YouTube. Much to his credit, I would encourage anybody, don't go down that rabbit hole of things. But then again, don't play the Walter Mitty. Thank you, Pam. Don't play the Walter Mitty syndrome of building up a huge life about yourself, because the more grandiose it gets, the more easy it is to poke holes in it and sort of deflate the balloon here. And this is where I think that Boris. Yeah, that's right, Joe King. I didn't serve in the military, but I did fight at the Alamo. Okay. But Boris did serve, and he knew all the lingo and all the conjecture and all that kind of stuff. And when Boris speaks, I have to give a tremendous amount of weight to what he says. Because one of the things you may not, like Boris's style and stuff, but I have to say, generally on YouTube, I'm not happy about the way, he puts some people in the crosshairs sometimes, Corey and some others, but he's been pretty damn accurate about stuff he said on YouTube over the years, and I've got to give him credit for that. Hey Tucker, nice to see you. So I'll check the side chat here now. We just wanted to weigh in on that, and just come out publicly for Coop here and just say, Coop, I do love you, and Ellie and Greg and Nicole and everybody else is on the panel. And Dave the Fisherman, I do value your friendship. You've been kind to me. You shifted your position radically in regards to me over the months and stuff. I know the passion that you bring to stuff. I know the passion you bring to the table. But these are decent people here that I don't I just hope and pray that you don't unleash the dogs of hell on people that are just basically good, decent people. So, hey, Cassidy Hampton, how are you? Yeah, thank you, Jaded. I'm just speaking my heart because I do care about so many of the people here on YouTube, and everybody's so welcoming. Hey, Helen, nice to see you, sweetie, out there, because I do care about so many people. thank you. What happened happened. I appreciate that. I'm scarred and battle bruised on YouTube, and the boy. I know Dave kind of went off on the Boyd stuff, and it's really just it's not an exclusive club. It's certainly not a club of great pride that we would take. It's just something very funny that those of us who went through the trials of 2015 and 2018, it's like the old Boyd's being reassembled again. People are coming back. You know, Amanda May is coming back.
Hi, B-Mac.
You know, all the old gang. Hey, B-Mac, all the old gang is coming together. So yeah. Hey, yeah, nice to see you. Yes, we're baking. Hey, Lori, we are making chocolate eclairs, and we're going to be raising money.
Hi, Cassidy.
For we're going to be making chocolate eclairs and hopefully raising money for autism research tonight, which is a nice thing. Oh, thank you, Tango. Yes, I'm very right leaning in terms of my politics and stuff. Yes, I am. I'm very right leaning. I'm also not. I'm not a huge advocate of in your face protest. I'm more an advocate of getting to know and getting to understand people. With contact comes understanding. And I always thought to myself, and Missy Jen did too, if we could.
Dora Lynn.
Hey, Dory Lynn, nice to see you, baby. If we could hide this girl's journey, if we could enmesh ourselves in a community before we were, me in particular, because you completed your trans journey.
Yeah,
as you wanted. You left all that. I'm in the middle. Hi, Marcy. I'm in the middle.
I'm done.
And I always thought if I could just engage people long enough, then we could absolutely, people would change some of their opinions and maybe wouldn't be so blown away. Hey, Beta Boy Elvis, nice to see you.
Hi, Marcy.
Tucker, nice to see you. So everybody's been kind to us. So, Dave, I see you here. I don't see Cooper, but I'm just saying if you could, just maybe kick back on the gas pedal a little bit and thank you, This Girl's Journey. And we'll just wrap it up. We are baking tonight, raising money for autism research, not Autism Speaks, because plenty of money gets directed towards the programs. But I care more about getting into that research, deep into that research. Thank you, Gregory. Thank you, Color My World. You've been a great friend of mine. Oh, absolutely, Marcy. And you had the surgeon. I try to think of all of my friends. I reached out to a gal that has a lot of people that deal with cancer. It's always the same time, Pam. It's past your bedtime, honey.
Well, I'm actually now following somebody.
9 p.m. Hey, Rob, how you doing? Yeah, research is what we need the most. So, yeah, Missy Jen is.
I'm following somebody that actually Kat put in the side chat a link in her latest hangout, and he is in the end stages of cancer, and that'll make you humble when you follow the day-to-day videos of his struggles.
Thank you, Tango.
So
yeah, I talk to Elvis regularly, and the encouragement. Okay, bye, Janie. The encouragement is always one thing: job, job, job. It's the only cure for what ails in so many directions. Hooker is a huge advocate. This is exactly why I'm doing it for at Hooker's suggestion. So it always starts at 9 p.m. on Pacific, which is midnight, because I don't want underage in there. So okay, yeah, the man who. Well, I'm just saying for the man. As far as Patch is concerned, I had to stake out my own spot on there. As a person, I don't really know Patch that well. He's always treated Missy, Jen, and I with kindness. But we do believe that military honor is something that has to be respected. It really has to be respected. Because these are people that give their lives. There's a few other things in life that you're going to give your life potentially for something. So the honor scale is way up here for a Boris, for a Bobby, for a anybody else. I think Beta Boy Elvis, for the boss, all of those people that serve, for Free Birdie, all those Joe King, off the scale for Joe King. With the respect. Thank you. Look at this Tucker, this guy. You know that's going to end up in your Porsche fund. Tell him, Jen, that's going to be in your Porsche fund.
That's going to go into your Porsche.
Yeah. So I want to. Yeah. So Dave, I hope I'm not. I seriously hope I'm not.
We're gonna see you drive off into the sunset in your new Porsche.
Thank you, Tango. You're sweet. This is not a fundraising exercise, but I don't. Why don't you? I'll tell you what. Why don't you guys save that for tonight if you feel like kicking in a few bucks on a direct link, not to me, but to Autism Research. Right. You'll have a little link, and nobody will ever know. So it's a fun way, and you never have to watch your hiney when you donate. It would be, you don't have to watch your honey. Well, it's like Joe King. I've never asked Joe King to show proof of hey Susie, I've never asked Joe King to show me proof of military service, because I just think of Joe King as an honorable person. And I don't know of Marcy. I'm gonna have to shut this down before you go crazy.
I'll have to pull the plug.
Thank you, Cassidy. You guys save your bucks, as Elvis would say, 5, 10, 15, whatever you can get. That's
20,
right.
50, 100, anything goes.
Yeah, that way you don't have to watch your hiney when you're doing the right thing on YouTube. Right. And Tucker, I will get you. If it's the last thing I do, I will get you. So, yeah, Pirate, I could kind of tell you had Marine blood in you. Yeah, Pirate should have been a drill sergeant. I'm going to shut it down now. We'll see you all. We'll see you all tonight. Tucker, I will get you. If it's the last thing I do, I'll get you, my pretty. I will get you. Yeah. All right. So thank you for watching, everybody. Missy Jens, thank you. Thank you for sitting in, and y'all take care.